you're a parent of a child who engages in repetitive movements like hand flapping, rocking, or humming, you've likely wondered if you should try to stop it or if it's even something harmful. And many professionals say that these are just quirks or that your child might grow out of it. But what if they're actually a sign of something deeper happening within the nervous system? Let me share a story about my son, Brooks. About a year ago, Dr. Sam and I started noticing some new repetitive behaviors, some persistent throat clearings, his eyes blinking, and then small vocal sounds while he was watching screens. And we knew these weren't just random habits. And if you've heard Brooks' story before, you know he was born via emergency C-section after 3 days of intense labor and had significant upper cervical tension from birth, leading to early sensory processing challenges. And with regular chiropractic care, he'd been thriving. But when these new tics appeared, we recognized them for what they were: a red flag that his nervous system was signaling that it was struggling to regulate again. Parents see this pattern all the time. Kids who are doing well suddenly start developing tics or repetitive movements or these intense sensory-seeking behaviors. And the reason is simple. The nervous system is overwhelmed. Whether the trigger is physical, like Brooks constantly diving, sliding, and tackling during our epic neighborhood football games, shout out to the Hill Street gang, or chemical stress from diet and toxins and the things that we drink and breathe and eat and put on our skin, these stressors push the nervous system into overdrive. And when we ran Brooks' insight scans, they confirmed what we suspected. His nervous system was stuck in stress mode again, and those movements were his body's way of trying to cope. Stimming isn't just a behavior to eliminate. It's a child's nervous system attempting to self-regulate. And research shows that many individuals with these behaviors report that stimming helps them manage anxiety and provides a calming effect. These movements are not just random. They're the body's attempt to release built-up tension and process an overwhelming sensory environment. And at the core of stimming is an imbalance in the autonomic nervous system, the system that controls how we process stress, sensory input, and emotions. And when the fight or flight response is stuck on high and the rest and regulate system is struggling to activate, children remain in a heightened state of stress where every sensation feels overwhelming. This nervous system imbalance, known as dysautonomia, leaves kids in a constant state of high alert, fight or flight protection mode. The missing piece in many of these cases is something called subluxation, neurological tension that disrupts the body's ability to regulate itself. When this tension builds up, it interferes with sensory processing, movement, and behavior. Think of it like a traffic jam in the nervous system. When everything is flowing properly, signals move smoothly, and kids can adapt to their environment. But when the interference causes gridlock, sensory signals pile up, and the brain struggles to sort them out. Stimming is a way for the nervous system to clear the jam and regain control again. Neurologically focused chiropractic care helps bring that nervous system back into balance. By addressing subluxations, we can improve sensory processing, emotional regulation, and stress adaptation. When interference is removed, the brain can process sensory input more efficiently, which often reduces the need for those repetitive movements. Adjustments can also activate the vagus nerve, the body's natural calm and regulate system, helping kids shift out of that hyper fight or flight mode and into a more balanced resting, digesting, and healing mode. Many parents come to us feeling desperate, having tried every therapy and intervention without seeing lasting results. And chiropractic care isn't just about suppressing stimming, but rather helping kids feel more regulated so they don't need to rely on it as much. When their nervous system is working the way it should, they experience better communication, better emotional flexibility, and improved sensory regulation. So if your child struggles with sensory overload, emotional outbursts, or repetitive behaviors, their nervous system may be stuck in hyper fight or flight protection mode. And that's something we can measure and something we can address. The first step is running what we call insight scans to see how their nervous system is functioning and what areas need the most support. You don't have to do this alone. If you're ready to dig in deeper into your child's nervous system struggles and find solutions that work from the inside out, we're here to help.